What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 371 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast, the last episode of 2023. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo!
And Shelley Nollan.
Oh!
Like I said, this is going to be the last episode of 2023. We will be back January 15th, so really January 17th is when the episode will air, or on the 15th. If you want, you can always go to our Discord and watch those recordings live. Like I said, you'd have to be coming in on the 15th at 8 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Pacific time for Shelley. Yep. We'd love to have you in here chatting with us. It's always fun.
We got plenty of catch-up time, too.
Yes.
In case
you got
totally.
a whole month. You got 4 weeks. I'm kind of excited about it. There's a lot of shakeup that's happening in Geeks Under Grace, and
in a good way.
We're all pretty stoked.
Good way. Yeah. Good change.
Yes. A lot of growth, I'm hoping. So, this episode always looks a little bit different than the last one of the year. We just kind of reflect on the year that we have had. And by doing that, we just kind of go through our favorites of the year. It's a little bit shorter of a podcast. But let's go straight to video games. What are our favorite video games of the year? LJ, you being in gaming, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So my number one favorite is Street Fighter 6. I know it's very specific.
Yes.
I did mention a little bit last time kind of that I came to that conclusion because I think playing other games like Mortal Kombat 1 kind of helped me realize, I forgot how much I love Street Fighter 6 because like Mortal Kombat 1, I beat the story and I was kind of like, man, like there's other stuff it tries to do, which is great. You know, I appreciate them trying. But Street Fighter 6 was the game that got me to compete in an actual local tournament, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience of, I think they changed locations, so it's like I haven't been able to go to any other stuff since it's like clear across like the other side of town these days. But I enjoyed it. It was awesome, and it was really cool to see so many people come out for this new game. And Street Fighter is definitely like the most like elite like fighting game as far as like skill levels and the way characters play. There are different levels of difficulty for characters having like charge moves and like certain other inputs that are definitely different than just doing a half circle and learning how to throw a fireball, right? Like Ryu or Ken. And so it was really neat, for people to get into it for the first time, and also it's extremely accessible. That's kind of the nice part. It really doesn't matter if you really want to play with that simple, I forget what it's called, like the simple mode, and it makes things a lot easier. But I enjoyed it a lot. I still play it online from time to time, and I just think it was a really good way for Street Fighter to evolve, because by the time you get to Street Fighter 4 and 5, it's just there was such a high skill ceiling that it's like, oh no, you're going to get straight up wrecked when you get online. But it's got such a high player base, and it's cross-platform also. And so it was just, it's super cool. Like, I think it's definitely, and it won Game of the Year for fighting games.
Yes.
Even though there wasn't like a lot of strong competition. I figured for whatever reason, Mortal Kombat probably could have made the upset.
Yeah, I wondered. I was hoping it was Street Fighter, but I was also like, Mortal Kombat?
They did it.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat's got a fan base.
They totally do.
But then there's also like those games. I think those are ultimately like they have the fan votes, but then they have like a committee of different editors from different journalist companies that ultimately like help cast the vote. Almost like a collegiate kind of thing. If you want to get like a politics kind of reference, but it's super good. And then so that's kind of all I have to say about Street Fighter. So do we want to just go around and share and then maybe do some honorable mentions after that? Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelley.
Cool.
Yeah, my game of the year is Final Fantasy 16. There's just no question. There's no I played it. Basically, I played Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, okay, it's a really good game, but I have some frustrations, but it's still a really good game. And then I played Final Fantasy 16. I'm like, oh my gosh, like just the seamlessness, like it's not that long, it's very cohesive. It's just so cool. It's so fun. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game I keep forgetting exists. I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to play that every time it's brought up, and then
it's because it keeps getting shafted. It got shafted at the Game Awards. Thankfully, it won Best Soundtrack. If it didn't win Best Soundtrack, I was gonna punch somebody.
It was so good. Yeah,
I would have been legit mad if it didn't get Best Soundtrack. I was still mad that it wasn't even a contender for Game of the Year. I don't know why people don't like it. I think everyone I've heard who doesn't like it, are people who would rather play turn-based RPGs. And I'm like, okay, cool, play turn-based RPGs. There's a lot of really good ones out this year. Play Sea of Stars, play other games. Like, it's fine. You don't have to play, and again, I think I've talked about before. Oh, sorry, I just bumped my mic. I've talked about it before, I think, but other Final Fantasy games have been different enough mechanically already. But again, for me, Final Fantasy, and again, I didn't grow up with Final Fantasy, so kind of take this with a bit of a grain of salt, but for me, Final Fantasy is in the themes and, characterization and things like that, and it follows all of those to a T, as far as I'm aware. It, follows those.
It does.
It's really great in that way, so I don't know. I love it. I haven't started the DLC yet, but one of my friends who also loves Final Fantasy 16 is trying to get me to play it, but unfortunately...
Oh, that got, shadow dropped or something, day one during the Game Awards, right?
Yeah, they announced DLC a while ago, but they didn't give us any more details, and so they basically shadow dropped, one set of DLC, and there's going to be another set of DLC later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, I want to play it. I hate to sound like a Baldur's Gate hater, because I'm legitimately not. It is a fantastic game, and I fully respect it winning Game of the Year. But my gosh, I fight the game more than I fight in the game. The mechanics drive me up the wall. We had a sequence recently, and I'll try not to be spoilery. There was a fight we were having where an enemy, when it dies, would drop a bomb. And you need to deactivate the bomb, because if it goes off, basically at the end of the turn or at the end of 2 turns or something like that. So you need to deactivate the bomb, or else, people die, right? Pretty simple. But the thing is, it drops them where they die, and it levitates, and it cannot be moved by force, and you cannot deactivate it with anything other than an actual character. So you can't deactivate it with Mage Hand,
which is counter to what you would want to do in D&D. That's the fun part of D&D.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a great example of that. So basically the situation we ran into is we had Will, our warlock. He has this cool Eldritch Blast ability, but what's cool about his Eldritch Blast is that it actually forces people to fall back and kind of shoots them away. It's very cool.
Yeah,
it has a push mechanic. It's really awesome.
I love Eldritch Blast. I remember doing that in actual D&D.
Oh, for sure. Eldritch Blast in general D&D is amazing. Will's is even better because it pushes it back, and you can do a bunch of shenanigans with it. Anyway, very good cantrip. So he is using Eldritch Blast. It kills the guy. The game considered it as him being killed midair. And so we have this levitating, floating bomb midair that, even though we have characters that can fly, or me who can jump really high, my character jumps super high, the game won't let us disarm this thing unless we are touching the ground. And this object cannot be moved by force, so therefore, I tried telekinesis. It's an ability where you can, move things around. Pretty fitting, right? Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Where you can move items and objects and people around. Can't do that. Not allowed. I tried using Mage Hand. Mage Hand didn't work.
That's so weird.
And again, in D&D, it would be super easy to be okay, there's a bomb, it's floating midair. I'm gonna jump and grab it, and I'm gonna pull it down, or I'm going to hold on to it and try to deactivate it in the air, or get another character that can legitimately fly. If jumping doesn't work, we have a character that can legitimately fly. The flying mechanics in the game just don't really work very well in general. And so we had to restart the fight. We ended up having to restart the fight because literally none of us could deactivate this bomb, even though feasibly we would have had options. Logically we had options. Mechanically we did not have options. We had to restart the fight, and the answer was just, Will, you can't kill people with Eldritch Blast. That was the answer. So, just so many times we're fighting the game more than fighting in the game. So, I think this year I'm learning that I so appreciate seamless experiences much more
Yes.
than these like just content, because it's the same with Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like Tears of the Kingdom again was a really, really great game. I'm not saying either game is bad. They're both really good, and I totally respect anybody who's like that's their game of the year, like either Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate. But it's similar, right? Where it's like you have so much content, so many options or perceived options. And when those options don't actually fall through, or you can't actually do things the way you want to, even though the game supposedly you should be able to, the game just like won't let you. You have to make things kind of perfect. You have to make things precise. You have to work with the game's mechanics. The game's mechanic does not work with you. And there's also just so much content. Because I'm honestly getting really burnt out with Baldur's Gate 3. We're trying to beat it. We're over 100 hours into this point, and it still feels like there's so much we have to do. And I still want to do a second playthrough at some point, but my gosh, I'm tired of the game, low-key. I'm just like, this game.
Yeah, but it's like,
too much.
It's like you're saying though, like that Final Fantasy is pretty much, it's a cinematic, seamless experience.
Yeah, and similar with like Spider-Man. Like I watched my husband play Spider-Man. It's kind of similar, right? Where it's like these very seamless, like you have to learn the mechanics of the game. It's not the mechanics saying you can do whatever you want. Here's all these options. It's like, no, here's how the game works. Here's how combat works. You have to learn how to do it, right? You got to learn how to do it, and you got to figure it out, and you're going to get really good at it, and it's going to be really satisfying once you figure it out. And that was my experience, at least. And again, if you don't like the action RPG thing, then sure, maybe just skip it. But I think the fact that I didn't run any glitches, we crashed the game again this weekend, by the way, for Baldur's Gate. Like, it just feels unacceptable to me, but just a seamless experience from the graphical standpoint, the glitch standpoint, the combat standpoint, the characterization standpoint, all of that. It's so seamless and something about Final Fantasy 16 that it's just I don't have to fight the game, right? So that's definitely my game of the year. I wish I got more recognition.
I dropped off of it when I went on vacation. I hadn't picked it back up since I went on vacation, and I regret not doing it.
Yeah, it's okay. But
I'm pretty far in, though.
Yep. Into it. I definitely want to play playthrough soon, but I will not start a new playthrough until I finish Baldur's Gate. I have to.
You'll give yourself paralysis. I did that with anime. I was like, I'm not going to watch another anime until I finish My Hero. And then I'm still on season 4 of My Hero for months now, and I just can't get past it.
And there's more seasons.
Yep.
Yeah, so I haven't turned it on. I haven't turned on any anime since then.
That's funny.
Need to move on. I think I will. It's hard for me to pick a game of the year just because I haven't played a lot of games.
Right.
But the one that did come out this year that I did highly enjoy was Tears of the Kingdom. So I'll go with Tears of the Kingdom, but that's because I didn't play Final Fantasy 16 or I didn't play Baldur's Gate. I feel like Baldur's Gate would be something I'd be really into. And I'm trying to think of other games that I would probably. I probably would have never played Alan Wake 2. I can't believe the accolades. It's super cool.
See, and that's Final Fantasy should have at least had Alan Wake 2 spot, or I'm gonna go hot take here. Spider-Man 2 spot.
Yeah.
Or
Spider-Man's another one that I didn't get to play yet that I really want to. There's so many games out right now.
Yeah, it's hard. I think not to start a Game Awards discussion, just to kind of put a little thinker on there. It's just something I've been reflecting on. Is it seems like people, and it's fine if you do this. By the way, it's fine if this is what you prioritize. But
yeah, Final Fantasy should have been in one of those.
I'm just finding that people are really, really highly prioritizing content. And that includes replayability, which is very respectable. Like both of those things are really respectable, but it's like putting out content more than almost anything else in some ways versus something like Final Fantasy, something like Spider-Man that's like shorter, but it's so again just a very seamless, like it does all the things really well. There's just other games that do one of those aspects better, basically. And so those are the games that are like getting all these awards. And it's I don't care about awards.
Alan Wake 2 being in there was so wild to me. I'm like, that just came out. Did that many people really like the game? Like,
I respect Alan Wake 2 being there. I don't respect Resident Evil 4 being there. I'm like, you are
actually, yes, Resident Evil 4 should have. I mean, not that.
Remake.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing here?
There,
this is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird and crazy. And again,
it was
if
strange.
you respect, content and all that stuff, like far more than what I'm talking about. Respect to you, that's awesome. I think for me it's more realizing a disconnect between me and other people. Other people are just like, well, this game is so great because it has all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm realizing I like games better when it's like I don't feel like I have to like be fighting the game, basically. I've never played God of War, but I think it's a similar with God of War. It's like this sort of narrative style, like you don't. It's taking you on this story and on this journey, and that's like really cool. But I don't know.
Like I didn't even pick up Tears of the Kingdom, but it's like I totally respect it, and there's a reason
absolutely.
it's there. You know, like for sure.
And that's my biggest thing is like
awesome
when I'm going to like gauge a game, it's just how much fun did I have with it, and so it could be a sandbox or it could be a story. You know, like the God of War. I've only played God of War 4. I played the past ones before that, but I haven't played Ragnarok. Is what I'm saying. And so
which
like,
also got DLC.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And so like, there's I guess I see both sides. Like I really like a seamless narrative story. I usually tend to go towards those anyways, and for the most part, I guess. Tears of the Kingdom, it's more so just like I said. I didn't play a lot of different games, but I did have a lot of fun with it.
You don't play Tears of the Kingdom for story.
Yeah, it's very much like a sandbox. Go play around,
place to explore, and then do the story.
It had its issues, but I loved that, Breath of the Wild I was kind of over the moon about. I think that was the biggest problem with Tears of the Kingdom is for me, it was just more Breath of the Wild. And so I'd already done that. Yeah. And so I kind of had a hard time with, but this is bigger and better. Sure. Yeah, but I almost didn't need Breath of the Wild as more of it. Like, if I would have just gotten Tears of the Kingdom, I would have been totally happy with that, I think. So it was almost, there was a redundancy in it, even though it was doing it better. I kind of wished that, I just didn't need both. I don't guess I wished that neither existed. I just didn't need both of them. But no, I had a lot of fun goofing around, making stuff. I didn't think I would like the Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts aspect of it.
That was my joke.
Yeah, I thought that was all right.
I love saying that.
I, for the most part, enjoyed the scavenging for things and exploring. I think exploring is a really cool part of that game, especially with the
that's what I loved about Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, the ability to float above things. I was constantly like, "What's above this? What's above this?" And so all of that was really good. I would love to see another Zelda game that goes back to like more of the Twilight Princess roots, Ocarina of Time.
Oh yes,
yeah,
but
me too.
I definitely think there's a place for this weird open sandbox. It's kind of like
there is
it's like a fun Skyrim. People are gonna shoot me for saying Skyrim's not fun, but the fun part of Skyrim is modding it, not playing it. And I don't know. This is more whimsical, I should say, version of Skyrim in a lot of ways. So, that was what I enjoyed. Like I said, I didn't really play much else. I played Forbidden West, and I think lots of Cyberpunk. I think I was playing Cyberpunk in 2023, probably.
Which also, that won an award for Best Ongoing Game.
Yeah. I don't know if that's necessarily just a commentary on
I know.
the Game Awards, but that was a weird choice. I was like, okay.
I do not like encouraging we have a broken game, but we fixed it among all these times, so we're going to get rewarded for it. It's like, no, make a game that's not broken in the first place. Like, if anything, you should say Baldur's Gate has best community support then or not best community support, they actually won that, but best ongoing game because they put out so many patches. Like, that's the same argument, but they at least had a slightly, like, a much more complete game when it was released.
An ongoing game to me is a game of service. Like,
yes, I agree, actually.
Something that you're continuously getting content for, not a DLC and some updates. It was strange. I love the game,
for sure.
But I think they were just trying to get an award somewhere and gave it that. That was odd. I have not played the DLC for that yet either, so I can't really speak to that. But I'll let you guys. You said you guys had some honorable mentions, some games that didn't quite make your top list. Go ahead, LJ.
Yeah, you start.
Mine, and I got to thinking about this because, like, I thought Spider-Man 2 was going to be my game of the year. I straight up did. And then it just reminded me, especially, not to, like, keep dishing at the Game Awards, but, like, there's this big thing about, oh, it didn't get any awards, and I don't think I read something that none of the Spider-Man games have gotten any awards across the years.
Actually, crazy. They've been all of them have been nominated multiple times.
Like, and I fully think, like, yes, Spider-Man. I feel like the others did deserve some, and 2 probably could have. Like Yuri Lowenthal could have. I mean, obviously, like there's definitely a contention there for best performance and stuff like that. Like, sure.
Yeah.
But it just, like, I still super enjoyed that game, and it's just been such a wild year for better or worse in games. There's been some bad stuff, and there's been some really good stuff, and some unique stuff. But I think the one that keeps kind of sticking in my head is Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah.
Just because like Spider-Man did so much, and like it did, it was almost kind of overwhelming. But again, it was all awesome stuff. Mm-hmm. But like Jedi Survivor didn't have this big grandiose, like, oh, we're gonna, like, the world's in peril kind of story. Like it felt like a very much like a next chapter, or like its own thing inside the galaxy. It didn't have to be this big like world-ending event or anything like that. And so I kind of liked it for that. And I just remember how much I enjoyed that game. That was around the time too. I think I played and beat Hogwarts Legacy, and then right after that, Jedi Survivor came out, and I knocked out Jedi Survivor. So I just remember it lives in my head more, I think, now that I think about it. And so Jedi Survivor is definitely, like, again, Spider-Man 2 was amazing, but Jedi Survivor I feel like, did a great job on the sequel front. It's like, how do you compete with what you had before? And I think Jedi Survivor did it really well. So that's my honorable mention.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. How about you, Shelley?
I have 2-ish small honorable mentions. I just want to rapid fire them. I've talked already a lot about Portable. Yeah. I'm still not done with it yet. I still would like to finish it before the end of the year, but, like, who knows with Baldur's Gate stealing all my time away.
I guess Star Ocean was a surprise for me when you talk about RPGs.
Yeah.
Because I put 7 hours into that game before, like, I fell off of it and did something else, which I still want to go back to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, that's crazy that, Persona 3 Portable is, like, it's a re-release, but it's also awesome that it from a preservation standpoint, it came out, So
yeah, totally. And
cool.
Yeah, it's just been really fun and good. And also, it's funny because, yeah, Persona 3 Portable did come out this year. Another game I did play this year was Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. It's funny because I was looking at the list of all the games, because I've been keeping track of the backlog of like all the games I've played this year. And that was the first one I beat, because I think I did most of the work in December of last year, then I finished it in January, so I considered it like a January dub, basically. That game was also really fun, and there was it's very grand scale, because it's like the second half of like a bigger story. You have Path Radiance to Radiant Dawn, and I don't know, it kind of just makes me wish that Fire Emblem did that again. I think it was really risky for them to do, and I don't think they would. I don't know.
They should just.
They probably wouldn't do it again, but it was a cool concept. They should
do a re-release, and people will pay full price for it again. Do what Nintendo does best: re-release it for full price.
Yeah.
They could do it. And I would probably pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's better than paying $200 at eBay or whatever to get an original copy. So.
Yep.
But anyway, that was a really good game, and then. So I have, like, P3P technically came out this year, like, technically released this year, so, like, that's one. Radiant Dawn obviously came out a long time ago. And then just one extra, like, I played a lot of Rivals of Aether recently, the last couple months, and that's just been really fun to, like, learn and get better at, and I'm really excited for Rivals 2 coming out next year. So I definitely wanted to put that as a little...
They got me to play a little bit of it, and it was, I didn't play much, but, like, I played a little bit on my Steam Deck, and I was like, dang, this game is really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I just... wanted to point that out there as a game I'm just going to keep playing into the new year, and then whenever Rivals 2 comes out, I'll switch to that probably. But yeah, those are my favorites, the games this year.
Cool. We will get into our favorite movies then. I feel like movies have finally started coming back in Hollywood a little bit since COVID.
I feel like that... the world is healing meme, like
yeah, definitely.
Especially after the strikes being over too. Like now, I feel comfortable discussing stuff again too.
Yeah, I think those strikes are really going to continue to impact us over the next year or so. I think Marvel only has Deadpool releasing next year, the only MCU movie.
Oh wow!
Ooh, I forgot the Marvels came out this year. Whoops.
Yes, the Marvels did come out.
Quantumania came out.
Oh, gosh, that was this year.
Yeah. We're on the up
Weird
and
year.
up. It's a slow heal. But we'll start with Shelley, since you usually do the movies.
Yeah.
What was your movie of the year?
Across the Spider-Verse, also no question.
Fair.
Just so good. Just so good. I think I've probably talked about it enough. I think it's probably obvious it's so good. But it's definitely easily my favorite. I saw it at least twice in theaters, and I will rewatch it again since it's been on streaming on Netflix, I think. So, and I like tell people about it. I'm like, you gotta watch it. I'll watch it with you. It's just a real good movie. I don't know what more to say. I mean, the original Spider-Verse was my movie of that year. And Beyond the Spider-Verse hopefully will be my movie of whatever year that comes out. Hopefully next year.
It'll be next year, just not when we wanted it.
For sure, it's gonna be later.
Oh, to think we were gonna be 3 months away from like the next part,
dude.
Oh.
Nuts.
Yeah,
that's my movie though.
Sad.
For sure.
Definitely an amazing movie. That really built on top of the first one in a lot of cool ways.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, so good.
And that Ninja Turtles TMNT that came out heavily inspired by it. Like I
that
love that it's
it's
kind of created a new genre of animation in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people are finally, finally artists, and maybe it's not the artists; it's more like the people above. Who are like, hey, finally you can start embracing that that we're not trying to make something realistic.
It's like a weird form of like stop motion kind of, but it's like its own art style now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's like that's all we needed. Same thing, with Demona. Same thing with a lot of movies this year. Actually,
animation
like
really got going this year.
The Last Wish, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is similar, right? Where it's like, hey, finally. These industries are accepting that they're not trying to make this weird, semi-realistic movie with 3D animation. It's like, no, it's still art. Let's emphasize that this is still like basically a cartoon. And do cartoony things that you can only do via this medium that will look great in this medium that wouldn't look good in live action, wouldn't even look good maybe 2D. Like using the medium well, and that's what those movies are doing. And then you have like Wish, which I haven't seen, but I've seen I've seen trailers, and I'm like, I don't know, gang, this looks boring. It's like people they want that extra level of artistry.
I've heard the soundtrack is actually pretty good, but the movie's kind of meh, which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard the whole thing is pretty meh, but I just won't watch it. I was never interested anyway. But either way, yeah, Last Wish and TMNT were also kind of.
I forgot about. Did Puss in Boots come out this year?
It technically came out last year, but it was like December last year. It was like
okay, because
that's why I personally count it for this year because I didn't watch it in December last year.
That was one of those movies I think I just bought outright because I heard how good it was,
and it is really good. I'd watch it again.
Yes, yeah,
it was slapping. But again, yeah, same thing. Like when the FPS drops, that's when things are about to go down.
Yep.
The release date for that was December 21st, 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Sure. That's one of those sleeper hits. Like nobody, I don't think a lot of people like watched it because like, oh, that's a kids movie, and then like people,
and it was just so
were like,
much better than it had any. It had no right to be good. Like literally no right.
The death like sound when the death shows up is like, oh, that's my favorite. I guess I'll go off Spider-Verse then. I chose. It's also my movie I picked, and I would say like I don't have much else to say about it, but the experience watching it. Not only was it the first movie I ever took my nephew to like by ourselves, which rest in peace, my movie theater by my house. But it was one of those movies like I feel like this rarely happens to where I was so locked in on the movie that I didn't realize that it was just gonna end the way it did. Yeah. Like I was like. I thought we had a whole other third act, or another act ready to go, right? And I was thinking, okay, cool, this is it. This is going to be awesome. And then it's like...
It was over. You're like, wait,
what? Wait till next time. And I'm just like, no! And then I was like, oh, wow, that movie was already, long as it is. So it was just like, I don't know if I've ever been so locked into a movie that it just all of a sudden ends like that on me. And I'm just like...
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the only time for a very different reason was Fantastic Four, the rebooted version.
Yeah.
You just wait and wait for a third act, and a third act never happens.
That's funny.
But you're in a first act that entire movie, so
Yeah. Yeah, it just I've never, like, I don't know, it just took me, I was so locked in on
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's a crazy feeling.
I'm going to pivot a little bit. My movie of the year is Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan doing what Christopher Nolan does, and so artistically it was just a really well done movie, but also
I've had a coworker tell me I need to watch it, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm going to.
The emotions that it drives, I think, what for me was what made it my movie of the year, which is very different for me. Usually I'm very like big special effects. Like if I would have watched Rise of the Beasts, Transformers could have been it for me. But no, it was so well written, and the point of it is to really drive a sense of hopelessness that comes from the atomic bomb, and I think that was translated really well through that movie. What Oppenheimer, this genius scientist who is so excited to make this thing, and then his slow realization of what he's done. I think that Cillian Murphy did an amazing job portraying that in the movie, and you kind of go along with that journey with him in a lot of ways. You're like, oh yeah, you kind of rooting for him a little bit. And by the end, you realize, oh yeah, this is the outcome of this thing, and it's very somber, for sure.
So I know show and tell doesn't exactly work in podcast form, but if you come watch live, you can see stuff like this. I got this Icon edition when I got my new TV recently, but it's like a folding thing, and so when you open it up, and this is like a Walmart thing they've been doing, you get that part of the movie.
Oh wow!
And then when you open it up, there's like all the like 3 discs in it, but then it's like opens up to this,
the whole court,
and so it's like the whole court, and yeah. So I just think that was. Like, I'm like, ooh, like, I did not plan to buy a new movie with my TV, but when I saw it at Walmart, I was like, yes, that's the movie I should buy for my new TV.
Robert Downey Jr. also does a great job.
I've heard he's really good in that movie.
The whole movie it's a ride. I'll have a runner-up for that. I'll just go into that one quick. And that was going to be... I thought it was going to win it, starting the movie, and that is Godzilla -1. I was like,
I was gonna say, like, where's this in your 2023 ranking? Because I know you said,
like, is it gonna do it? Immediately thought that. I was like, oh,
I'm so sad I haven't been able to see that movie in theaters, and I really want to so bad.
It is phenomenal. It is not gonna beat out Oppenheimer for me. There's just certain things with it. It's very much like it has some anime logic to it. That's very silly and goofy sometimes. Like just. Physical stuff but I mean, like, how realistic is a giant kaiju monster, I guess. So you don't go to Godzilla for realism. The story itself, though, really, really good. Very deep and very surprising for. It was a movie made in Japan, and so the message it has for Japan is kind of surprising to me in a lot of ways. And I don't want to give any spoilers away.
I mean, that's kind of how Shin Godzilla was. Like, Godzilla -1 feels like the movie that they wanted to make when they made Shin Godzilla, at least from what I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, it's so much destruction, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, this... I don't want to give too much away, but it's about World War II, and it's about survivor guilt. And so, in World War II, and you gotta remember with Japanese pilots and stuff, and the kamikazes...
Godzilla was always meant to be like an analogy.
Yeah. And so it's...
And that's...
like, to
I just want to say how crazy it is that Oppenheimer was the other movie that, it was like...
Yeah.
Yeah, why are we doing this?
So nuts. It's so nuts when you think about that. Like, your main movie is Oppenheimer in the second...
Yeah.
Wow.
I mentioned that last night. I thought that was kind of weird that both of my my top movies had to do with destroying Japan. I love Japan.
But it's like the weight of that, I guess, from both two different perspectives, but like, yeah,
in a lot of ways. I don't want to give too much away, but survivor guilt isn't something that I've ever really thought about because I've never survived anything that other people didn't and felt like, oh, I should have been there and that should have been me. And so I don't know. It made me really think about some things that I would have never thought about probably in my life.
Thought provoking.
Yeah. And you don't expect that from
That's
a
awesome.
Godzilla movie. like you said, it's always been kind of an analogy. Also blew my mind. This is a thing. Small tangent with Godzilla. I've always known that it was an analogy. Godzilla is an analogy for the atomic bomb, or even worse yet, like an analogy for the United States.
I was gonna make a terrible joke.
For the United States.
You said blew my mind. And
Oh
I'm like,
no, that's not terrible. But I never thought about this. Like I always knew that it was an analogy for the atomic bomb, or like worse yet, the United States is Godzilla,
right.
A metaphor. I never thought about the fact that the United States and Hollywood have decided to make Godzilla a hero because it's a metaphor for the United States, and we could never be the villain.
It's so true.
Yeah, thought about that yesterday.
It's so true.
That is super heavy.
And it's like, wow, kind of crazy.
I mean,
of course we did.
I mean, yeah, 1997, and then now with Godzilla and Kong. I mean,
anyways, heavy stuff. I definitely recommend watching Oppenheimer. And
that's legit. I mean,
-1 is it's subtitled. Be ready for that. I gotta read. But it was an amazing, thought-provoking movie for sure.
Crazy.
Did you guys have other runners up, Shelley?
I already mentioned most of them, but Barbie. You mentioned Oppenheimer. Gotta mention Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie was great.
That's mine too.
It's funny.
That is my runner-up as well.
It's funny. I realized I actually made like a top 5, just kind of personal. Like I was making top 5 of things for this year. The only non-animated movie that's in my top 5 is Barbie.
Oh, wow.
Also thought-provoking in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I have more recency bias on that one, but it definitely. It seems like this movie that's like, oh, it's gonna be fun, you know. But then, like when I actually watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, there are some people that are probably too fragile for this movie, or like to even like to really know what this movie is saying, you know, like, or to even realize, oh, this movie has a point to it. Like I feel like it probably goes over a lot of people's heads, you know, at a certain point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Totally. It's so good.
Yeah. Really good.
Barbie was great. Yeah, I would definitely throw that in my top 5 for sure. We'll get into TV then. TV was a tough one for me. I guess I'm putting my runner up by saying this, but I really thought it was going to be low-key, but I started to really dig down, and Last of Us came out this year.
That's crazy.
And so very, very early in the year, and as great as Loki was, I think Last of Us definitely makes the top for me. And
Nice.
That is just, I'm usually someone who, if they're going to adapt a video game to a movie, I really like pushing for like expanding the world through that, not just replicating. But I think that the story is good enough that replicating it for people who will never play a video game, the game itself is so cinematic already that it kind of made sense, and they did a really good job at doing that as well. Translating,
and they kind of did their own thing in a lot of ways too,
Yeah.
which I do respect. Like everybody thinks like, oh, it's got to be scene for scene adaptation or whatever, you know, and they kind of,
I think they made it okay by doing that. Like they would have these scene per scene like replications, and so it kind of showed that they could do that, and then they went and did their own thing with other things. And so I think a lot of times what we get is when someone does an adaptation and it's completely left field, then you kind of go, oh, they can't.
Yes.
They couldn't stick to the script.
Like this definitely feels like an adaptation in like as it should feel.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're like, here, you want this like clicker to do this exact thing for the video game. We can do that. And it was like, but we also have our own ideas. Here's some of those ideas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the whole show, the writing, and the performances.
I got my parents to watch it. They liked it too.
Yeah. I'm excited for season 2. Is it
Yeah,
Bella Ramsey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know like right now, but I know for COVID, Bella Ramsey was like doing worship music on her YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Don't know where or there, right? Their walk is now. But...
I don't think I remember she was saying it, or
she doesn't care, right?
Yes.
That was it. Yeah.
Yes.
Try to be respectful.
Yes.
I think she doesn't care, but no, it was a really cool thing that She was doing worship music, and so I didn't know that until after watching Hospice, but it gave me even more of an appreciation. I was like, that's so cool.
Neat.
Yeah. What about? We'll go back to LJ.
Yeah, so mine was definitely Superman.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that came out. Why did I forget Superman came out? I have to put that on my list.
You guys raved about it for a long time.
I think I watched the last 2 episodes because I definitely dropped off, and I think part of that was through my vacation and stuff. But I went back and watched those last couple episodes, and I'm like, yes, like this is everything they do in this show is so like, I don't know. Like I tell people, it's like, oh, you want to care about Superman, or you want to watch something or take in some kind of Superman content that's like well written and actually makes you care about the character. Like go ahead and watch this because people got so when people think about Superman, they think about Zack Snyder's Superman, and Henry Cavill did a great job, but also it's just I think people saw like, oh, that's what they think of Superman. And then Superman's always kind of been known as this like Captain America type, this super Boy Scout, totally. Which is, of course, that's him, like, and
they have it up in a good way though in the show.
Yes, and it is self-aware. It's very self-aware in that way. But it's so well written. And again, they put a spin on things in such a really good way. It's very anime inspired, obviously. It's easily like and that's kind of like what I've been telling people. Oh, you don't really care for Superman? Like check this out and let me know how you feel after.
Yeah.
And I've heard there's certain comics that I should check out that are like supposed to be really good too. And then it kind of made me remember like, oh, I kind of used to be into Superman a little bit, but not like much. I was never a big DC guy. I was always more Batman, but like, it got me thinking back like, oh, like I definitely watched all these movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yeah. But I just think this is such a refreshing take, and this is probably one of the best between like all the movies and shows and everything. This is probably the best thing that DC has put out in like a very long time, and I think more people should watch it for sure. Even if you're not necessarily like a Superman fan, or like even like a DC fan, I think you just look at Superman like, oh, he's a superhero, all right, cool, and then you're gonna enjoy it. And I think anime fans, there's definitely plenty of Easter eggs too. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's super, super good. I can't wait for season 2.
Same.
What about you, Shelley?
My show of the year is definitely Mob Psycho 100. I know it didn't come out this year, but it was definitely my favorite show that I watched this year. It's a favorite anime. Straight up, it's so good, and it helped. I think when I didn't finish the manga, but I was reading a lot of the manga when we watched it. So there were certain parts I was like really excited to like watch and see, and I kind of like knew what was going to happen, which I think actually for a while helped. And then I didn't know what was going to happen, and that was still really fun to watch. It's so good. It's like the manga's already really good. I actually think the anime is better because the way that they utilize animation style is amazing. It's so good. And again, same creator as One Punch Man, and granted, I know there is a season 2 of One Punch Man that I haven't seen. I only watched season 1, and I still really liked that.
That's when they changed studios too.
And that's the thing too, is that they changed studios. So like, I don't even know if it's good. Like, I have no clue. But at least for season 1, like they did some fun stuff with animation, like especially trying to make this whole grand like battle, and then the whole humor is that he could just punch them and they're dead. And for some, what's great about One Punch Man, somehow the bit is always the same, but it's always funny. Like, they always find a way to still make it entertaining, even though you know what's going to happen every time. It's like, oh, he's just going to punch him and they're just going to die. Like, that's just what happens. It's One Punch Man. That's his whole thing. But with Mob Psycho, you'd think it would go similar rules because you have this kid who has crazy telekinesis, crazy psychic powers, who's stronger than pretty much anybody out there. So you would think it would kind of end the same way of like, oh, well, he's just going to wipe the floor with everybody. But it has so much heart. Like, this kid and his relationship with Reagan, especially, is just so wholesome and so good. And I love it. And like all the characters were really fun and cool, and I don't know, I love Mob is one of my favorite, I think, anime protagonists. He is so great because he is just super like relatable, and I just see not necessarily myself in him, but people I know. Like there are people I know who I'm like, wow, I like know this person. You know, like Mob is this person in my life, basically. And also talking about more about the like sort of ethics about using powers too, and like when can you use powers, when can you not, and other people are strong too, and like how do you handle having that much power, because power corrupts, right? So if you have that much power, how do you deal with it? And it kind of goes through those topics, and there's like lots of silly fun moments. It's like a hilarious show, but it has so much heart. It's so precious. Like my heart, it warms my heart. It is so good. Please watch it.
I binged that show so fast, like a couple years ago, and I'm like, I remember parts. It all like runs together for me. It's so good.
It's really great. Yep, that's my favorite show of the year.
Sweet. And then LJ, we'll go back to your runner-up. I mentioned Loki.
Yeah.
Loki
oh my gosh,
so
it really is. And this is definitely my runner-up. By the end of it, it's just crazy because I've said this before. Loki's a character I did not care about and felt like so one-dimensional. Like when the character first, showed up in the MCU, I'm just like, okay, whatever, But then like I felt like they're definitely on to something. Like when Ragnarok came out, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like one of my favorite lines in Ragnarok is a piss off ghost.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, yeah, and then so. Like watching Loki kind of like evolve into this character in that, and then seeing his journey through season 1 and 2, it's such a 180. And I feel like I shared this meme on my Facebook today, and it's Chadwick to give this man an Emmy instead of like give this man a shield,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, do it, because it's such. Tom Hiddleston did an amazing job. And that character arc is easily one of my favorite character arcs in the entire MCU.
Yes.
And it was one of those things where I was like, when Cody said like, oh, like it's worth watching, like you should watch it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's a bold claim. Like that's
yeah, I believe
okay.
I said
like,
best show on Disney Plus. I think that was
yes, and yeah,
that's including
it
Andor,
really
which
is.
I really adore.
It's good,
Didn't
and
mean
it's
to make that sound so punny, but.
But I was like, oh, like okay, like this was one of the various shows I think I had caught up on, because there was just like a good while where I struggled to like watch any TV shows, and so I was behind on this one. And after Secret Invasion, I was like, I don't know, like I'm kind of scared to dive into anything MCU right now.
They've really turned into a thing of like, and I hope that they can kind of turn this around, because I think you could have both, but it's either it's connected to the universe really strongly, or it's good,
or it's not.
I think Guardians 3, and so with Loki season 2, it's not heavily connected to everything, at least yet. It might be soon. I've heard there's some TVA stuff going on with Deadpool, but like it was a self-contained story that was good by itself and not leaning on a bunch of prior knowledge and MCU lore and stuff.
Yeah, I think with MCU, it's like right now, it's like, are you going to or are you not? Like, okay, when are we doing this? It's so good, and it just felt really weird to say that. Like, I'm just like, oh wow, all right.
I feel like Moon Knight too. Stuff that's disconnected seems to be doing better.
Yeah, Moon Knight was really good too. It's just I was like, wow, like this is just a place I never saw this character going before.
Yeah.
And
my
like looking
only
up,
regret, I wish you would have had a moment with Thor, and I know that would have been expensive, but it would have been so worth it to hear Thor say that he was proud of him.
Yeah, and I think to me it's also kind of cool, like the fact that Thor probably doesn't know, he doesn't really. He has no idea. Like, yeah, and it also kind of makes me sad for like Love and Thunder, because it's like, oh. Like it said, just the way that ended, and I'm like, with Chris Hemsworth and Taika being like, "Oh wait, we're coming back," what? Thor's coming, So it's just, I think there's just some humility about the way Loki ends, that he's like, "Oh, I don't care. Like this is what I'm gonna do." So,
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
Great.
Yeah.
Great show. Yeah. Is that Shelley? Did you have any runner-ups?
Not really, honestly. It was a struggle to try to figure out what shows came out this year, but Superman, I'll put in a good word for Superman.
Yeah. You guys talked about that for a
fun.
really long time.
It's just fun, okay?
We did,
it's
we
simple, It's clean. It's the Kingdom Hearts song. That's all.
It does make me sad we didn't get all of Invincible this year.
Yeah.
Because like Invincible, I've been watching. I watched that because I think they're doing like 4 There's a 4-episode thing they just did, and there's a gap, and there's going to be like 4 more in like January, I think. So, yeah, that show is it's more Invincible so far. It's still really good. So, yeah, I'm like, wow, like they could have just, I don't know if it's because of the holiday or whatever, but
maybe
they could have easily finished that show out, I think, before the end of the year. But I feel like I'd also be talking about that here, but I did want to give it a mention for people to catch up. Also,
well, that is it then. The final podcast of 2023.
Woo.
Episode
we did it.
371.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll end it there. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LJ the Paladin.
And Shelley?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
You can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. And Discord. Can I do it that way? Can I say Discord?
Oh, yeah,
Cody
I'm on
Armour?
Discord too. Yeah, did y'all know that there's
we're
a
all on Discord.
Geeks Under Grace Discord? We're all here.
Yeah.
You should, join it.
The gang is all here. We're like a Smash Bros. Roster.
Yeah. I've never thought about that. I think people can just look up my name, and then you can find me on Discord, in the Geeks Under Grace Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do that.
Yeah, watch live next time when we come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we're taking a break.
Taking about the break.
Break.
Twitch is reimagining. The Twitch channel is reimagining itself a little bit. A lot of exciting things happening. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next year. Ha ha ha. Keep gaming. Keep praying. And God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.
It's on!